Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Factorio, where I am building a megabase on Earth. I am using a mod, Cities of Earth, focusing on the Old World Hemisphere. My goal is to reach 10,000 science per minute with a rail-based design. The resources are set to maximum size and density, and biters and pollution are turned off. The mod list is shown in the description, as well as a link to my Twitch channel, High Speed. Please come visit me there. Questions and comments are welcome. Thank you for watching. Otherwise, I would, just like you do. I would be, converting things, because I don't use lube at all in this build, so all the red gets cracked to yellow, and then I have to be careful because I need a lot of yellow to make solid fuel, but if I get too much yellow, I still crack it. And you can see these numbers are really, 65, 67, so they're consistently doing that sort of stuff. And, yeah, so that's how I would do it. First, it depends on where you look. Secondly, it depends on where you use it. And Blackie, it really does come down to if you're having that sort of a problem. Well, what I wanted to share with you, Blackie, was how simple it was to do this wiring a pump. Because you're not stupid. And it's a matter of knowledge. You're reading this tank, you're controlling this tank or this pump by reading that tank. Yeah, well, go ahead and differ all you want, but you're playing Factorio, so you can't be. If you were on a stream where we're talking about beaches and bathtubs and stuff like that, and you were like, I can't figure out how to build a furnace in Factorio, okay, then I might consider you stupid. But if you're into Factorio and you're asking me, how do I set up wire a pump to a tank? Well, you've already gotten fluids working in Factorio. And therefore, ergo, you ain't stupid. How do you set up a bee? Well, you get a beehive. All right, this train is going to be here just to serve as I'm on the other side of the planet and I need somebody to bring me something. Like, for example, what does this blueprint need that I don't have a ton of? Or isn't even on this blueprint, or isn't even on a train. Rocket silos aren't on a train. Why do you have 2 of those and 6 of those? Those all need to be upgraded. I think everybody else is on a train, except for the stone. Let's not stand on the track. Upgrades. Good. Yeah, I don't have a rocket silo assembler. I need 12 of them. Rocket silos seem to take a lot of resources. Steel, processing, electric engines, pipe, concrete. I think this is going to go into the custom assembly area. It's the concrete. It's the concrete. I don't see a place for me to put it here, so I'm going to do it this way. Even though these are usually for modded things. Ooh, it fits. All right, you're going to make rocket silos. And you're going to be limited to, they're expensive as hell. You're going to carry 2 of them already. How long do you take to make one? 30 seconds. There's no reason for me to carry more than 1. Oh, let's see. How do you set up a bathtub in Factorio? Yeah. If you train plastic, how do you prioritize the plastic station that must be taken from first so things don't back up? I don't. I don't do that either. Do you go all belt for plastic to science? I let the trains figure that out. And it takes a long time sometimes for them to get the shit together. But take, for example, this. There's 2 plastic trains on this network. There's 2 trains. There's 4 stops. There's 4 of these stations. And this train, or these stations, unless I'm super busy and not producing, the reason I have 2 of these outposts instead of 1 is because belt production is such that plastic production is such that it overloads the output belt if I have 3 of them. So I can only fit 2 on an output belt unless I want to design a different thing, which I decided not to do. So what I did is I built another outpost. This is actually the equivalent of 4 of these outposts with 2 trains servicing them. And the reason it's only 2 trains servicing is because consumption and production, I'm not certain, but I'm working on the assumption that they're not quite going to be in sync, and that I'm going to be producing from here and producing from here, and this will fall behind, and then the trains will start coming here. Now, if you're worried about it, then you have to put them all together and then put them on a single train. Like if I were having problems and I didn't care about how it was looking, I would take all of these outputs and I would put them into some massive 32 belt things, and then I would have those getting loaded from a single train. And these are close enough, and I've seen bigger things, right? We're talking about 8 here. 8 and 8 is 16, and 16 and 16 is 32. So if I took all of the output from these 64 chemical plants and I belted them into a 32 by 32 mixer and then put that 32 by 32 mixer into a loading station like this, I'd be loading up a 48 chest train from one common place. And then I wouldn't care which of these stations are going to and not going to. Now, if you're having a problem, Bob, where they keep going back to this one, even though it's not ready, then you have to use dynamic train station controls, which is why I have this freaking monstrosity of circuitry right here, is because that was the only way I could solve that problem. Well, I don't understand what you're complaining about then. If you train plastic, how do you prioritize the plastic station that must be taken from first so things don't back up? If you're doing a single... Yeah, if you're doing a single loader, then there's only one place for them to load from. Dynamic trains can be simple, right? The simplest dynamic trains to run are these, and I made them more complicated than they needed to be. Let me see if I have simpler ones here. Yeah, pretty simple. This train station is determined by this combinator. This combinator has hard-coded values in it that say if these chests have a certain amount in them, then enable that train station at 1, or if both of them have it, then at 2. A simple dynamic train station, train loader, is add up all the connect all the chests to a combinator, a decider combinator, and then say if the contents of those chests is enough to fill one of my trains, then tell the station to set its train limit to 1. There you go, dynamic train limiting. And that way, when it comes to plastic, what you're saying is if there's enough in these chests to fill this train, enable this station. It's not enabling it, you're using train limits. Don't use enable disable. Activate this station. And that's the simplest train limit you can do. And it works very well, is to say, if you add all these up, and that's enough to fill this train, if there are 32,000 in all of these, or basically if there's 4,000 for plastic, if there's 4,000 across these 6 chests, set the station limit to 1. If not, set the station limit to 0. And what'll happen is the train won't come here. And then, because this one didn't produce fast enough in comparison to the other one, the train won't come here, it'll come there. I did a lot more complicated stuff than that. Didn't need to. Did need to. Why didn't you idiots continue? Inquiring minds want to know why isn't this connect? Oh, you see, this is wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. Factorio. See, look at that. That is such bullcrap. Also, I can see that this is still broken. I didn't fix this. I swear I fixed this. I swear I fixed all this. God, that's infuriating. All right, what are you? You're low density structures? All right, low density structures gets an update. I'll just go with 100 steel, blue, this. Steel, blue, pipe, electric engine, concrete, Alright, that'll work. I'll need to get those on a train eventually. But... Alright. This is just such a bullshit situation. Power poles need to prioritize larger power pole connections over everything else. Yeah. I normally am very careful with how my how my power poles are connected, but I'm still working out the details on this. There we go. What are you going to go place? You really? That's your highest priority, is these lamps. Ugh. Ugh. You know, I should just rename this stream to High Speed Bitches About Bots, because that's all the stream today is going to be, is me bitching about bots. Just a never-ending stream of expletives about how stupid. See, like these guys, they've sequestered themselves. There's 3 bots trapped here. They will never get out. There's 4 here. Once a nest loses power, they're stranded there and they become their own network. That's my choice, Bob. Other people do it differently, but that's what I was taught. That's essentially what Mucky taught me, is don't call the train unless you can fully satisfy the train. In the unloading world, don't call a train unless there's room to unload the train. In the loading world, don't call a train unless there's room to fill the train, to load the train. So you got to know what the stack size is. You got to know how many wagons there are. You got to know what color the moon is that week. Error 404 chestnut found. That's hilarious. Come on, I just want to take a rocket silo with me. I'm mostly doing this so that I'm not looking at what these idiots are doing. I'm mostly just trying to ignore what these absolute sausages are doing. To quote a certain guy I really like, Tumbling Satellite. I'm in the wrong place. Or am I? No, I'm in the right place. You know, I should be teleporting to Wadden. You know what I should be doing is building this in Wadden. Although I don't know that Wadden is much closer than... Oh, I gotta put down signals. I need this built, but you're not building it. Are you out of roboports? I somehow don't think so. Oh, there we go. You built it. All right. I want you to come over here because I'm going to have you build this connection to Wadden. My lawn care is here and it might be very noisy, so I apologize in advance if I go mute for a little while. You will have the wrong names, so I'm going to disable that. Does activation request multiple trains? And if they're all load and empty and unloads are full, where do excess trains store themselves? Do you add a third stop called storage refining or something? So if you don't have stackers, then yeah, you might have challenges like that. It doesn't activate multiples if you're controlling it through, and this is really important, do not enable disable. If you set it to only enable one train, then, well, here's an example. This is the fuel request train. This thing is set up to set train limit on I, right? And this is the very simplest setup you can have, I think. What's happening here is, and this is just off in the middle of nowhere, is this station is set to set train limit on the variable I. It defaults to L. And then it has a combinator that doesn't matter. But it has this decider combinator, which is set to, if these two trains, you can't see that. Let me choose a different place. Guy's on the roof, so sorry. If these two added together are less than a certain amount, I think it's 30, then it puts this train as requesting one train, and so not more than multiples. No, I have, because this is a MegaBase, I've turned off biters and pollution. Standard stackers, when you use the inactive method, because why? Is it because the trains can still path towards one of the stations but won't try to enter until the limit is set? More. No. More than 0. Yes. So if you have a station that is programmed, using dynamic train limits, right, like this fuel unloader, it is currently 0 of 0. If it was set to a train limit of 1, right, if enabled train limit is 1, one train would try and get there. And at the instant, and I mean the tick, that the train that's there pulls out, not sets a destination, but actually moves 1 pixel, another train that is available will then begin routing to that location. So if it's at 1, it's always going to have 1 train trying to go there. As for where do you do when they're not in use, that's why I have stackers, and I usually have them to 2, but that causes other problems. Because then you've got to have a place for a train to line up before it can get in, and that significant redesign of your rail network. So I need about 3,000 on here. I need 100 of each of these. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, that's fine. And I need some more of those. Does anybody here have signals? I thought somebody had rail signals. Well, let's go look at the source. Does anybody here build rail signals? Is anybody here requesting rail signals? You are. Who are you? You are the wall builder. Wall builder is bum. If you're requesting rail signals, you're not loading them. Bob, while that is technically correct, it will also cause train congestion issues, so you better build a 6 or an 8 lane rail feeding that area. Alright, let me see if I can clean some of this up. See, Spidertrons and bots suck. You can't rely on them to just do the work. Just got an ad from Disney Plus about the new Aquaman Ninja. People think about Indy milking the cow in that last. Well, it's not his call. He doesn't have control over a lot of the things that happen. And I don't know that anybody's going to gripe to an actor who wants to reprise a role that he's endeared himself to. Yeah, and that's my second comment. He put a lot of effort into it. It's always been a bit campy, so it's, never been an issue that it has to be the highest quality stuff. All right, let me get these trains emptied out so that I can send them and reload. How many? 61, so I don't need that many. How many substations do I need? I don't need that many substations. I've probably already got 61 substations in this network. Alright, let's quiet it down a little bit. Furnaces have progress bars for the productivity. To my knowledge, they don't reset until they get picked up. Interesting. So I'm still here, and the noise is still there too. So I'll mute it when it gets noisy again. So I'm going to recall all of these trains once they actually get back there. I thought I programmed that. Oh, I've got two of these here, huh? Oh, that's the wrong destination. Hi, kitty cat. All right, this is not Tabuk. This is Wadden. Oh, sorry. That is my lawn care guy. He'll be done in a little bit. I keep muting it. Sorry, I forget to mute. Well, this is growing. Fennec's idea is working. Hi, kitty cat. It's only noon. What can I do for you? Oh, you're bothered by the noises outside. Okay, yeah.